Hey sis, welcome back to the pod. I'm Lindsay Nickel, and today we're going to talk about something revolutionary, I feel like, especially if you're in eating disorder recovery. Insert the art of wintering. Now, if you're listening to this and thinking, Lindsay, it is winter. I know what winter is. What is the art here? What is wintering? Hang with me. Because wintering isn't just about the glorious season where Santa Claus comes to town. Depending upon where you're living, you're scraping snow off your driveway in your car. Wintering is about permission. Permission to slow down, permission to rest, permission to be exactly where you are without any apology. And in recovery, that permission can feel like an absolute riot. I cannot wait to bring in this concept into your world so that you can start viewing how you can explore wintering in this season of your life. Let's go. Hey girl, welcome to the Her Best Self podcast. I'm Lindsay Nickel, former competitive figure skater and perfectionist, turned God-led imperfect boy mom and digital CEO. If you find yourself constantly thinking about food and wondering if you'll wake up one day free from the obsessive thoughts and behaviors controlling your life, then I've created this podcast for you because I know exactly what it's like to be a downright hot mess trapped in the destructive cycle of disordered eating. I finally found freedom, and you can too, girlfriend. So if you're ready to heal your relationship with food and body and break the chains of control and show up in your best health, then grab your favorite Tarjay journal and let's get to it so you can start living your best life as your best self. So let's talk about wintering and what it actually means. Wintering is the intentional act of stepping back and slowing down, of allowing yourself, friend, to rest and to recharge just like nature does. It's recognizing that not every single season of life is meant to be productive, is meant to be growing and pushing forward. And some seasons are really meant for stillness, for restoration, for being. And here's the thing, winter is the season of recovery. I feel like if recovery had a banner, it would have snowflakes on it or something. I don't even know, but it's preparation time. It's really in that time right now that we're at in the year where the earth takes what it needs so that spring can happen. Things get desolate, they get dark. I mean, not if you're in Florida, but if you're anywhere else, I will say, if you're a listener from international land and you are over there and you're like, it's not winter here, this concept still applies because this is a thing. This is something that I want you to think about and apply to your life. And if you're anything like me or like so many women that I work with in one-to-one, the idea of slowing down probably makes that voice inside your head go absolutely wild. That voice is telling you resting is weakness. Comfort is being super overindulgent. And that if you're not constantly striving, producing, pursuing, or earning your space in this world, then you're somehow failing at life. And like, why even try? But sis, let me tell you, this is a lie. And today we're dismantling it. And we're going to talk about wintering because I'm in Virginia. I've got 5 inches of snow on the ground. We rarely get snow here. I live in the southern parts of Virginia, so it's actually very beach-like. And so it was fun for the kids this week, school lit out for 3 days. And while it might have driven me bonkers, it made me come up with this concept that is really tied to the eating disorder versus comfort. And so I wanted to share it with you. Here's the thing. The eating disorder thrives on discomfort. It convinces you that you don't deserve rest. How dare you? Like, you need to be on that treadmill. And that comfort is something that you have to earn. That your body is only acceptable if it is controlled, if it is restricted, manipulated, or punished, to be quite frank. But here's your reminder. You are allowed comfort. It doesn't mean you're lazy. It means you are a human and not the comfort that makes you stay in an unhealthy place. I'm not talking about like just being comfortable and settling, i.e. the disorder, but comfort to be you, to rest. Here's the thing. You were not always this way. Like, you were not born having an eating disorder. And so you're allowed to wrap yourself in a soft blanket. You're allowed to eat warm and nourishing food for comfort. You are allowed to sleep in. You are allowed to say no and set boundaries. You are allowed to take up space without having to earn a thing. And in our culture, we have gotten so far from this. Winter, the actual season and the metaphorical practice, it invites us into that comfort. And your eating disorder absolutely despises that. It's going to tell you that being comfortable is lazy and that slowing down means you're flawed, that rest is regression. I remember when I was in the thick of it, I used to believe that summer bodies were made in the winter. And it was just something that I look back on and I go, ew, that is so cringe. Rest is not regression, friend. Slowing down doesn't mean that you're flawed. We have to change this narrative. And what if we do change this narrative and we reframe it? What if wintering isn't lazy? What if it's cozy? What if it's not weakness? What if it's wisdom? Time to reflect. Time to set yourself up for a new year. What if rest isn't a setback? What if it's just natural? It's part of us because it is. It is so incredibly natural and it is innate. Look at the animals. Like they go into the ground, they go into caves, they hibernate, they rest, they replenish, they get everything they need. And think about it. If plants in the earth are resting, can't you? The trees aren't apologizing for losing their leaves. The ground isn't hustling through the wintertime. Nature understands that rest is not optional, it's essential, and it's required. It's just part of the process. And your body knows this too. It really does. Your body knows exactly what it needs. In fact, it's probably been trying to tell you through exhaustion, through hunger, through a quiet whisper that says, please just let me rest. Wintering is your chance, friend, to listen, to reset, to refocus. And I know that listening to your body in recovery can feel absolutely terrifying, especially if you've spent years ignoring it, overriding it, scratching out what you need, or being at war with your body. But this is the work, and there is no better work. This is the slow, the tender, the necessary work of coming home to yourself with a giant cup of incredibly delicious coffee or tea, if you're a tea drinker. Here's another beautiful truth about wintering. It's gray, it's muted, it's quiet. And in that grayness, friend, is the stillness where you get to see your own spark, your own color. And when everything else strips away the noise, the hustle, the performance, what you get left with is yourself, the real version of yourself. Not the version that the eating disorder wants you to be, not the version that you think you need to be for everyone else in order to be loved or accepted or cherished or enough, but just who you are. And I think that is where I look back on my own journey and I go, to me, that was terrifying because I knew what was underneath all the mess and it was uncovering it that felt like a nightmare. It's almost like going through your finances and realizing that every bit of the money you have is being like tossed out the window. And so it's a really hard activity to do, to go into that, knowing I'm not going to like what I see, but I need to experience this to become a better version of me. Winter is the slowdown, sis. It is that search for self. And so what I wanted to share with you today is I want you to pause. I want you to allow yourself to lean into the season and be in the wintering. Who are you when you're not running, when you're not sprinting, when you're not hustling in the spring marathon or running into summer? Like, who are you when you stop proving? Who are you when you're just you? And I realize part of that exercise might get a little dirty. It might get a little bit nasty, and you might not always know or like what you hear or see. And that can be extremely vulnerable and it can feel super scary, but it's also what has to happen to evolve because winter gives us silence. And in recovery, silence can be deafening. Silence means that you have to sit with yourself. You have to feel the feelings. You have to hear the truths that you've been too busy to acknowledge or simply avoiding. But here's the gift, sis. You get to choose to listen now. You get to choose to honor what your body's asking for. You get to choose rest over hustle. You get to choose nourishment over restriction because you're listening to the show and now you know better. So you get to choose. Wintering is about giving yourself permission. Not because you've earned it, but because you're human, because you're worthy of it, because you deserve to take up space in this world without burning yourself out to do it. So if you're in recovery, sis, or you are on the edge of it, or even just recovery curious, I want you to hear this. It's okay to winter. It's okay to rest. It's okay to slow down and let yourself prepare for the upcoming season. This isn't laziness. This is survival. This is healing. This is how you intentionally attack the upcoming season. So if today's episode has resonated with you, I want you to know that you don't just have to winter alone or do this alone, because recovery is hard. And wintering, truly resting, allowing yourself that space and that grace can feel impossible without support. And that's why I created the Recovery Collective, a safe space where women come together to heal, to rest, to support each other through every single season of recovery. It is community, friend. It's connection. And quite frankly, it's turning into family. We have amazing, incredible ladies that are in this community together. And I want to invite you to join us. If you're interested in joining a recovery support group, you can go out to herbestself.co/recovery collective. And if you're looking for more intense, personalized support, I also offer a one-on-one experience with me. We are filling up quickly as we approach the new year, but I cannot wait to get to know you and to navigate your unique recovery journey with you and to dismantle all the lies that voice inside of your mind has been telling you so that you can find your way back to your true and best self. You can find all the details in the show notes or head on out to herbestself.co to learn more. I want to thank you so much, love, for being here today. Thank you for listening to the show and choosing to push play on it. And thank you for giving yourself permission to rest. So before we finish today's episode, choose rest. How are you going to honor yourself in this season of wintering? How are you going to rest? Answer that question, friend. And until next time, be kind to yourself because you're doing better than you think. I love you, girl. Talk to you soon. Bye for now. Oh, friend, thank you so much for letting me share what was on my heart today. My hope for this podcast is to help more women find freedom from food and body. If this has empowered or blessed you, let me know. I'd be honored for your rating and review of my show, and I'd love to connect with you in my private Facebook community. You really can move from perfection to purpose. Let's break the chains together. I'll help navigate the way. Until next time, bye for now, girl.